All right, welcome to the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show. I'm Larry Krueger with a little 49er video, and make sure you check out Pig and a Pickle. Two locations. They're in Emeryville, open Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville, and check them out in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in Corte Madera. The best barbecue in all of Northern California. Try the brisket. Tell Damon and Mary that the Krug Show sent you. Great people over there at Pig and a Pickle. All right, 49ers in free agency said goodbye to two really solid football players this week. Samson Ebukam and Charles Omenihu are moving on. And the 49ers don't want to pay, just good players top dollar. And in their system, they've found a way to bring guys into their system, and then suddenly they're coveted. And Omenihu gets a 2-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs for $20 million. Um, and, when you look at what Charles Omenihu has done as an edge rusher the last couple of years, it's really been impressive. There are very few edge rushers who had a higher win percentage than what Omenihu had as a pass rusher over the last the last season, I should say. Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Zadarius Smith, Trey Hendrickson. That's it. Those are the only edge rushers in the NFL last year who had a higher win percentage than Charles Omenihu. So Omenihu was also top 15 in total pressures. He's only 25 years old. He doesn't turn 26 until August. And for the 49ers, they lose a really good player. Charles Omenihu is a guy who always had talent and always had a motor, but just could never quite settle in at the right weight in the right scheme. At Texas, he finished up at, around 275. Then he came into the NFL, and they're putting him in as an edge rusher, and he's having a hard time getting the edge at 275. The Niners traded a day 3 pick for him, brought him in, and he told me in an interview that I did with him earlier this year that he showed up, he was about 273, and the 49ers said, hey, we need you closer to 260. And sure enough, he dropped the weight, got down to around 260, and even under 260, and was the fastest that he'd ever been in the NFL. And the production was fantastic. And yet he still had strength. I mean, I loved about Omenihu is you could put him inside in a 4 defensive end alignment and let him rush from the tackle spots and obvious passing downs. You could also rush him as an outside end opposite Nick Bosa. And he had great length, really good at setting the edge in the run game, very strong and functionally strong. So Charles Omenihu is a damn good football player, and he's in the prime of his career. Kansas City really gets a good one there. Chris Jones is a monster on that line, but they said goodbye to Frank Clark, and they need more edge rush, and Omenihu is going to provide that. Now, so while Omenihu is incredibly valuable, and he jumps from the Niners to the Chiefs, Samson Ebukam was also really valuable, and he just priced himself out as well. He jumps to the Indianapolis Colts on a 3-year deal for $27 million, and that includes over $11 million in the first year for Ebukam. And Ebukam, I loved Ebukam in college. The Rams just played him out of position. I mean, the Rams blew it. They played him as a stacked backer, and they just didn't understand that the guy's really he's not an off the ball linebacker. He's an undersized speed edge rusher. And the Niners in their, wide 9, put him outside opposite Bosa, and Ebukam was phenomenal. I mean, there was times when Ebukam early in the season looked like he was better than Nick Bosa. I mean, his ability to just come flying off the edge, his unbelievable flexibility to basically get horizontal with the ground and still be coming at the quarterback, really impressive. And Samson does the work in the offseason in the weight room. He's enormously strong. If you look at his upper body, I mean, he's just all muscle. I mean, it's just the most densely packed muscle in his shoulders, his traps, his chest. And the guy is just absolutely has done the work. He's done the reps in the weight room. And he lifts a ton for his legs. So, I mean, he worked himself into greater strength, greater explosiveness, greater get off at the line of scrimmage. And he had a terrific year. Now, he was dinged up a lot this year, and he just kept getting more and more dinged up as the season went on. By the end of the year, it seemed like he couldn't play more than 10, 12 plays without somehow getting dinged up again. But man, the guy is, if you're looking for just an edge rusher coming flying off the edge, he's going to do the job for you. And in Indy, where you've got Twitty Pay, um, right there. I mean, he's going to be really, really dangerous on that Colts defensive line. So good move by the Colts getting Ebukam. Good move by the Chiefs getting Omenihu. And for the 49ers, it's another kind of bitter pill because these are two guys. Samson Ebukam didn't have a massive market when he was a free agent. The Niners kind of scouted him out, found a player that they thought was not fitting in LA and put him into a system that fit his skills to a T, and then watched him have an incredibly productive couple of years to the point where he gets paid in free agency. So, the player wins. And in this situation, I guess the team loses because they kind of, I don't want to say the Niners made Charles Omenihu and made Samson Ebukam, but they found two guys that were kind of out of place, found them the right place, got them at the right weight, in the right condition, in the right scheme. Then they demonstrated production, and now they're worth more money than the Niners can afford. Are they great players? No, they're not great players. And that's why you got to let them walk out the door, because you can't pay good players great money, or you're just going to have a good team. You're never going to have a great team. And to win the Super Bowl, you have to have a great team. So you can only pay great players great money. You can't pay good players great money. Samson Ebukam and Charles Omenihu are good players that got borderline great money. And as far as the 49ers are concerned, how do they replace him? Well, they've already attempted to do it with Clelin Ferrell. They'll give Drake Jackson more run at defensive end. And this upcoming draft is absolutely loaded with a number of really talented edge rushers, all of which should be available to them for the most part. I mean, outside of the top 5 or 6 guys, the rest of this edge rusher class is going to be on the board when the Niners pick in the 3rd round. And they're going to take several edge rushers in this draft. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Farrell's nice because he's got a great motor. They'll play these guys in a rotation, but the Niners want to have a deep rotation. They want to show up in camp and have 12 to 15, NFL caliber defensive linemen that can be played in a rotation. So they're going to look for depth. I guarantee you they're going to reuse the draft to replenish that depth. And the good news for them, it's a loaded edge rusher class in this upcoming NFL draft. All right, hope you enjoyed the 49er video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being a proud sponsor of the Krueger Show. Check them out in Emeryville, and they're also open 7 days a week in Corte Madera. And also thanks to New York Style Italian Sausage. New York Style Sausage sent us to Scottsdale earlier this month, and they're also a proud sponsor of the Krueger Show. Check out both of our sponsors, and thanks for watching the Krueger Show. Hit like and subscribe, and we'll have great Niner coverage 24/7 right up until the beginning of next season and all the way through. So hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for tuning in to the Krueger Show on YouTube.